Well, good morning and good afternoon, wherever you are tuning in from. It's been really exciting to see you guys tell everywhere. We've got a lot of Texas people in the comments. I don't know if you've seen that, Juliana. Want to take a second while people are still coming into the room just to welcome you guys to our first Gathering Live update for the 2022 LCMS Youth Gathering in my hometown of Houston, Texas. We'll be walking alongside you virtually, of course, as you prepare your group to attend In All Things next summer. Firstly, we'll take a little minute just to introduce who these faces are on camera so you guys are more familiar with us. You might know who we are, but you haven't seen our faces yet. My name is Meredith Whitefield, and I serve as the communications specialist here in the Youth Ministry office in St. Louis. You've probably seen my name on the Facebook group a couple of times. It's fun having this new way to connect with you guys.
Hi, I'm Juliana Schultz. I am a program manager with LCMS Youth Ministry. Also here in the office in St. Louis. We're not far from each other, but we're in different conference rooms right now, Meredith and I at the International Center. And I do different things, including help managing our resource website, Youth eSource, helping to run Youth Lead, our youth leadership program, as well as working with the teams that are putting together many of the resources and supports we use for you guys at the gathering. So just really excited to be here with you guys and start to highlight the fact that we have lots and lots of people who are already very much in the midst of planning and preparing for the gathering. We have over 200 planners who work to prepare at the gathering, and we've got 14 months, so we're feeling good, right? Feeling like
absolutely
time, right? We're going to spend those next 14 months at least once a month meeting with you guys on Facebook and being able to kind of give you some highlights and some updates.
Now, don't panic when you guys hear that there are 14 months until we meet together in Houston. You have more than a year to plan. We have more than a year to plan to get ready to be together in Houston. And as we've seen in the last year, a lot of things can change in a year's time. The Youth Ministry Office and Gathering Planners have created a lot of resources to help you out. The best part is you're already participating in one right now. Juliana and I, along with our staff and some other gathering planners, will be hosting these Gathering Live updates once a month, typically on the first Thursday of each month, to share new gathering information with you. This will be a great opportunity to not only connect with our office, but as well as some adult leaders from across the country. It's a great opportunity for you guys to ask questions in the comments, and we'll do our best throughout this live stream to answer them as best as we can.
Yeah, so if you see Meredith and I not looking at the camera, we are looking at a multitude of other devices trying to track your comments and questions, right? This is very much sort of a more casual way for us to be able to kind of highlight key pieces that we want you to be able to be looking at, new things that we want you to share with you, and to get your questions. And you might ask lots of questions in the comments. We'll answer the ones that we can, and the ones that we can't, we'll come back to and answer as soon as we can. Meredith and I want to make it real clear, we are not super in charge. We have lots and lots of information, but we certainly have other people who know a whole lot more than us. And so kind of our job here is to relate back to you guys key pieces that we have that we want to make sure that you're aware of, and then to collect a lot of your questions and make sure that we're answering them as promptly as we can. Information comes in at kind of different stages of the process. So you're going to do this once a month with us or other people from our staff. It might not always be us. And then we want to point you to End Goals podcast. So for the last probably almost 18 months, we have run up a podcast that goes up every other week, where we talk about youth ministry and how to do healthy youth ministry in your congregation. If you haven't already found it, you can find it at kfuo.org. In their podcast section, they just released an app, which is super awesome. You can listen to it there. You can listen to iTunes and Stitcher. They're really short episodes. We try and keep them to about a half an hour. And over the last 18 months, we've done a lot of things, including highlighting resources from the last gathering. We've talked to different practitioners. We've talked to experts about research. It's been a really fun thing for us to do. And so because we already have that as a possibility, we are going to be using that as a way to get you additional information about the gathering. And so starting in June, we're going to release a series of episodes instead of every other week, but twice a week for all of June, and kind of give you a big push as you get ready to start your big planning for the gathering. And then every other month, I believe, we'll have a podcast where it will be specifically about the gathering, where we're going to be targeting and giving you information. And we'll record information there. You can go back, you can listen to it, and we'll try and point you to it in other places so you don't miss it. But yeah, we're really excited about using End Goals in particular as a way to be able to share information with you guys.
And we want to make sure to encourage people to follow End Goals on Spotify or iTunes or KFUO, so you make sure you get those notifications. We'll do our best to post it online, so you can always check our social media for that information. We're just really excited to have a podcast that you guys can listen to while you're mowing the grass or while you're putting together your youth ministry bags for church. Just anytime you can sit down and have about 30 to 45 minutes to listen when you're missing Juliana and I on these live streams once a month.
I mean, honestly, like End Goals is great because it's not just us talking. End Goals is a lot of bringing on other people. So we'll bring on other people from other teams, other staff members. So it'll definitely be a variety of different people, not just us sharing with you the information that you're going to need to know.
Absolutely. A great new resource to add to 2022. Lastly, so many of you guys have already done this, but if you have not, we'd encourage you to bookmark the Gathering website, which is www.lcmsgathering.com. In the upcoming months and even the upcoming days, the website will be the home of important gathering information down the road that includes your registration for your group. The website is updated regularly, so be sure to check back often. And while you're on the website, if you scroll all the way down, you can sign up for the gathering updates, which I believe so many of you got because there are so many of you watching this live stream right now. So that is a plus for me. But yes, bookmark that website if you haven't done it already.
So those are going to be kind of 3 key places where we're going to relay information, and hopefully we'll relay information in those places repeatedly. So if you're only connected really heavily on one and not the others, hopefully if we're doing our job right, you're going to hear about it on all of those platforms. So make sure that you are joining the Facebook group, that you're on the email list, that you're listening to the podcast, that you're regularly checking back on the website. Those are going to be places where we're going to use to communicate with you about plans and preparations, information about the gathering. Now, already on the website, we have a set of resources that are designed for you by a team of volunteers as we prepare for the gathering. They worked really hard to kind of create some of the best resources that we can think of to be able to help you plan and prepare for what you will do in bringing young people to the gathering. So I'm going to highlight a few of the things that you're going to find on the website. Feel free to go there and look. You can open up 2 windows in your browser and be able to do that while we're doing this. But there we're going to have a couple of resources. One of them has been out for a little while, but we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to look at it, and that's our theme paper and the theological pieces of the gathering. So we're going to be in all things. If you haven't already caught that, that's our theme. And we're going to be in the book of Colossians. Hopefully you've caught that already. But we have some really great resources there to help you as a leader read and understand what it is we're going to be talking about at the gathering. What is this theme, and how are we developing that theme in a variety of locations and all over the gathering? So how's it going to look in our mass events, and what are places we're going to use it in our sessions and Bible studies and all of those places. So be sure to be reading that theme paper. It's a little longer, but it's totally worth it.
But we also have abbreviated talking points for that. So if you're a shorthand.
I suppose. Again, no, it's right. Yeah. I read all of it, and usually, it's such good stuff. I mean, really, it's really fantastic, and the team that put it together did a great job with it. Our timeline is there. So we have a 15-month timeline, 14-month timeline, somewhere along there, where we can give you kind of a step-by-step of a basis of what you could be doing every month in preparation for the gathering. This is not a hard and fast rule. Not everybody's going to follow our timeline, but hopefully it's a way for you to have a sense of, okay, what should I expect? All of those key dates are going to be on there in terms of registration paperwork coming out, when the first day will take registrations, that kind of when kind of in the general sense you're going to be able to expect information coming back from our office and that sort of thing, and also some ideas for like how to track overtime and prepare for the gathering, with other things like meetings or fundraising and that kind of a thing. So we have a timeline. Along with that, a piece about thinking out how you're going to select your adult leaders who are going to come. Some of you might have more adult leaders who want to come than you have spots for. So how do we do that? But also, how do I talk to people who I'm asking to be an adult leader? And how do I help them think about what it is to be an adult leader and a supportive adult for young people who are coming to the gathering? We got a budget Excel sheet where you can just punch in numbers, which is awesome. We've got fundraising ideas, and we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. And we had things to do from Houston, made by Meredith. She did a great job highlighting a lot of different things that you can do at Houston, or ideas for you to be able to. So, Meredith, give it like 2 things that you are super excited about for people to experience in Houston.
Only 2. I only get 2 things. I think my favorite part about Houston is I love how much food I can get. I think in an earlier presentation with some people I did that you can get food from 6 continents. The only continent we're missing is Antarctica. So if you really want to do a scavenger hunt in Houston, you could try and get food from all these different continents. Pretty crazy. My other favorite thing about Houston, which will not be happening during the gathering, is the rodeo. I love the month-long celebration. And again, it partially has to do with food. I'm a sucker for anything like fried on a stick, drenched in whatever kind of sauce. Delectable. But those are probably my 2 favorite things in Houston.
Yeah, absolutely. So much interesting. We've really enjoyed getting to know the city, and having Meredith introduce us to things. And this is your version of Meredith introducing you to all of the great restaurants and things happening in her hometown. If you guys haven't already, on the group last week, we prompted you to see if we could come up with 100 unique fundraising ideas. And as a group, I would like to say you have 91 right now. So we have until tomorrow. If you guys can come up with 9 more, at least 9 more unique fundraising ideas, we would love to have them there. But if you want to, right now in the comments, while everybody's looking, put your favorite fundraiser from your church, like the one that you enjoy the most, or the one that makes you the most money. Drop that in the comments now so people can see kind of what those things are. I'll search and see if we have any additions from that comment when I get done today with this. But we are hoping that we can come up with 100 unique ideas. We'll put that out so everybody can look at it. But there are tons of really cool ideas. Meredith, I know you've been looking at that list, but I was surprised, like today we got to 91. Somebody is thinking about making homemade egg noodles, which as a note, I would buy.
I would too, sign me up for that one.
But I have a whole subsection, probably a third of the list is foods that we sell as fundraisers, which I love. Everything from peaches to meat to egg noodles to pizzas to every kind of pastry. It's really cool. And we want to encourage you guys to be thinking about how you can fundraise. We know there's lots of people who, because of COVID, are a little bit nervous about making sure they're hitting their fundraising goals because there's less accessibility. There's plenty of ideas out there about how you can do that social distance if you need to, or even virtually, to be able to navigate that fundraising part of it. And there is some fundraising ideas and ways to think about fundraising as a resource on the webpage already. So that's another place you can go and look and think about a fundraising. So we want to encourage you to do that as well.
Just seeing some of you guys
looking down to see if we got good fundraisers. Oh,
I'm interested in tractor washing. That is a very interesting one that I have not seen before.
Also want to do that.
That's awesome.
Nice. You guys, just so fascinating. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned doing a mystery dinner, and we did that a few years, and was the kids really enjoyed coming up with like a really. We weren't super intense about the play part of it, but we did like a full play where it's a murder mystery, or it wasn't a murder mystery. It was just a mystery. Something had been stolen every year, and we had to like figure out who it was, and the tables had to figure out who done it. It was really exciting.
I think my favorite fundraiser that I've been to since I moved to St. Louis was trivia nights. That was not a thing growing up. I'm not very good at trivia, but if anybody wants to host a section that's like Houston trivia, I might be like a good player for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big thing here in St. Louis. I hadn't experienced that either. We have lots of churches that have really, really beneficial, and that's something that that's one of the things I love about the Facebook group. If you're just joining it for the first time or you just joined us, that's a great thing where you can go through, and if you see somebody who has done something like a trivia night, you want the details, you could follow up with them. You can look in the files that people have uploaded. Lots of people have uploaded information about how to do the different fundraisers that they've done, or you can ask questions. I'll be able to use that and the information that you have and manipulate that to work for your context. Another piece that we have coming out hopefully this week, our plan is this week, we're going to have another batch of resources that are going to come out as well. You're going to be on the same spot on the website. And these are going to be a little more about how you're going to develop your group as you prepare for the gathering. So we're going to have things like things to consider when you're making a covenant, and some ideas and some starters on how you would develop a covenant, as well as a technology covenant. So how are you going to just handle kind of conflict? How are you going to handle different pieces of the gathering together? What are expectations? And then also specific expectations around things like your cell phone and other technology. We're going to have some great ideas for helping adults who maybe are not super integrated into your youth ministry right now. Think about how they can be better at working with young people, asking them good questions, how you can build community together as a group and experience that together as a group, both as you prepare and then once you get there. And then we have some piece that's really just a lot of really solid questions for you to be asking as leaders of yourselves and of the group, and then of your young people as you prepare, so that you're getting the most out of that experience that you can as you're preparing. And then finally, the thing that we have is meeting agendas. So if you looked at the timeline, you saw that we suggested a series of meetings, some that included parents, some that were just for your adult leaders, some with your adult leaders and your youth participants, as a way to kind of prepare them. So we created some shorthand agendas for you to be able to look at and be able to go like, okay, this is kind of what we would do in those meetings. Now, you're going to switch that up depending on what your context is. So if you're a smaller group and you can do 2 of these meetings together as one, awesome. If you're a bigger group and you can just split them up into more meetings, also do that. But we just want to give you some guidelines, some kind of suggested practices as you kind of prepare, especially for those who maybe haven't gone to the gathering before.
It's really great having all these resources now. I love seeing you guys' comments in the live, just saying that you're appreciative and that you're already using some of these resources, and that we're going to have these available in the upcoming days. As a reminder, if you haven't bookmarked the website, go ahead and do that. But we will be releasing new resources all the way up until the gathering and even after the gathering. So it's important to check back to that website frequently. I'm going to open some questions up in the comments. I will leave it and you guys can answer that while we kind of give some closing remarks of things that are coming up in youth ministry.
Yeah, so I'm gonna close up because we're getting close. We want to keep these to kind of a half an hour. So things that we want you to be thinking about. One is if you are planning to come to the National Lutheran Youth Workers Conference in Houston this July, we want you to get registered. If you haven't yet, we want you to be able to do that. So register for that. For national, it's a great opportunity. The event's going to be fantastic. We're going to have lots of youth leaders. We're going to be in the city, so you're going to be able to kind of get a sense of what that's like, what's down there, get a little bit of a feel for that. But you're also going to get some great speakers, breakouts. We're going to have a track specifically to help you prepare for the gathering. We also are going to have tracks on 7 practices of healthy youth ministry, which is something you can find more about at youthesource.com, and also just hot topics in general, things that are going to be helpful for you. So it's for you and your enrichment as a youth leader, as well as being really helpful for you as you prepare for the gathering. So we want to be able to do that as well. We also want you to drop in the comments. Meredith, we're seeing some questions, but also if you have a burning question, like what's at the top of your head right now, we can't guarantee we can answer it. But if you have a burning question, you want to see if we can answer it, and if we can't, we can, make sure that we're including it in months to come, right? But if you have some burning questions you want to drop in there, again, we can't guarantee that we're going to answer it, but at least it tells us kind of what's on your mind and what's most urgent for you. So you go ahead and drop those.
Yeah, I see a couple of questions, Juliana. Yeah. Sharon had asked if we were going to have Bible studies leading up to the gathering, and the answer to that is absolutely yes. We will have those Bible studies, hopefully starting at the end, either at the end of this year or the beginning of 2022, but definitely we will have those leading up to the gathering.
Yeah. Also, I saw somebody else say, is there going to be an app for the gathering? Yes. Yes. Absolutely going to be an app for the gathering. We don't know exactly when that's going to be released, but that is definitely something that we're going to be able to do, right? So we definitely are going to do that. I'm looking, Meredith, any other comments?
Regarding your hotel costs, all that information will be released when we release our registration information, which will happen later this year, either at the end of the summer or beginning of fall. So you can look for that, and it will be made available on the gathering website.
Paul is asking if there's childcare for misbehaving youth, and I'm telling no.
We are not qualified for that, I don't think.
Of mine, and yeah, no, there are no misbehaving youth at the gathering, right? This is no, we love our young people, and honestly, like we are. I know that you guys love young people, and I know that because you guys are already here asking good questions. You're participating in this Facebook. You are. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be in this group, you wouldn't be planning to bring kids to the gathering if you didn't love them. And so we're so grateful that you do that. We're so grateful for the young people who we know and we're already praying for, who you're going to bring, because it's I'm excited already.
Me too. I'm just excited to bring all of you guys and thousands of youth to my hometown. That is the greatest thing that I can think of right now.
Yeah. Looking to see if we got any other questions that we can immediately answer. I'm not seeing any, but if you feel free to still drop questions in the comments, and we'll see what we can answer. If we can't answer them now, we will answer them as soon as we can. That just gives us a sense of where you guys are at. We want to reiterate, make sure that you're checking that website. Again, wait a little bit, but hopefully by the end of this week, you're going to be able to see that second group of resources. It's going to be great for you. We're going to continue to drop resources over into, actually, I think the last group we're going to drop is in January of 22. So we have a lot of resources that are going to be coming out for you. Make sure you're in the Facebook group, which you already are if you're here, but invite other adult leaders who you know are coming to be in the Facebook group. Make sure you're signing up for the email. Make sure you're looking at the podcast. Be thinking about how you can mark your calendars on the calendar as a resource. It even tells you every date where we're going to be doing a Facebook Live, right? So it tells you when the podcast is going to drop. So you can already put those in your calendar and make sure to know that you can be here for us.
Well, it looks like we're just about out of time. As Juliana mentioned, if we don't get to your questions on the live stream, we can surely go back in the comments And you can also utilize the group, post in the group. If we don't know the answers, or if you need ideas, there's over 4,000 of the 4.1 thousand, I think, 4.1 or 4.2 now that are in this group. So there's lots of creative ideas and support along the group. I think that's it for this month, Juliana. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be, if those people are wondering, this is going to be recorded. It is going to be up on the group. You can watch it later. You can still drop comments later. We will continue to read those. Yeah, we are so grateful for you. We are here to help you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. And we are excited as we begin this preparation, and we hope you are as well.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back next month with even more information to share with y'all. In the meantime, connect with us on the on the LCMS Youth Ministry Facebook group or via email on the Gathering website. We will see you all next month.
All right, thanks everyone.